Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Jesus Christ, Julian. Welcome to the Transnation eSports for the final round of Season 6.5, the final race of Season 2020. I'm Brett Keenan. I will be joined in commentary by Michael Garone Jr. In the coming moments of time. I'm just making sure everything is kind of set up and ready to go for the race. Having a few internet issues, so apologies for the lateness of this, of all this. So you got to notice today that there isn't going to be any cars showing on the Discord, the server screen. Don't fret, don't panic. It's just we are using the multiplayer cars, as of course this weekend is the final race for me as a full-time driver, so I wanted to pay tribute to that by Cameron, just to clarify, it's not my last commentary. I'll be full-time commentary next season. It's just I'm ending my season as a full-time racer. To answer your question, Ken, yeah, I've been kind of sitting on it for a little while over this week, kind of sitting there, kind of wondering what my intentions were and how it was going to play out going into the final race of today. Obviously, I want to finish. I don't actually care if I finish in the points or not. I just want to be able to finish the race and sort of have a last chat to the guys in the comm team, which we will have commentary for the last race with Jake Anthony and Alex Boniface, so we will have commentary for No Assist Tier 2, and yeah, it's gonna I think there's gonna be some waterworks. I actually really do think there's a lot at play today, and I'm kind of hoping. I'm just going to quickly check something here just to be sure I'm still. Yeah, okay, so I'm still in the party. No, that's fine. Just making sure that that's all set in stone so when thing comes in. Okay, so we've got some confirmations that Liam is going to be trying no traction control today, and Theodore is going to go no assist today, which I think was only turning off ABS, automatic gears. So, as we said, there's no, it's all multiplayer cars today. So we're going to see a huge line of sporting liveries for today's race. So Abu Dhabi, sorry we didn't actually have a back to track yesterday. I was unavailable to do anything yesterday. A few little personal problems going on in my life, which I've had to kind of put into perspective. So we've got a few drivers now coming out onto the circuit. What do we got here? We've got Patrick sporting his livery, and I think the other one was Braden Upperton in the red and black striped livery. Very nice flash car actually looking. See if anyone else has come out. We've got Cameron Adams in the blue and red inspired. Looks like a very British inspired flag, although that'd be an interesting colour choice for him. Who else is coming out? We've got Bo running the End of Racism black and white livery, which is a very good calling. After all, we've been going through that quite a bit all year. We've got Theodore Drageshi running the Series 6.5 champion, running a black and red livery and sporting of his tradition to TNE. And a very good morning or good night or good evening to Mr. Diogo Cruz, who will be back for Season 7 in the No Assist division. Where he'll be, it'll be anyone's guess. One thing that's very hard to do at the moment is see where I'm at. So here's Julian Menegro, I do believe. No, that might be Patrick here. Oh no, that is Menegro. Sorry, in the blue and black entry. Then we've got Joe Brindley running a very interesting array of dark blue, light blue, and red. And then Jake Anthony, and Jerome's already left the session. We've got Jake Anthony here running an interesting livery. Oh, sorry, that wasn't Jake actually, that was Lee Beatty. Jake is actually the one trying to get out of the way there, so that was a little hairy. but he gets through nonetheless. So who is our first flying lap? It's going to be Braden Upperton. So he's coming through the first two sectors, well, the first chicane sectors of the lap into the hairpin, and you want to be able to get this all flowing and smooth. It's a very tricky corner, very tricky circuit in terms of getting your lap in perfectly. So heading into the first of one of the major braking zones in sector 2. This is where Nico Hulkenberg had that huge accident in 2018, 2019, whichever year it was. It pretty much introduced the thing. Yeah, to answer your question, is that we will have a commentator for the last race. But yeah, it's all pretty much set in stone as Braden comes through the fast flowing part of the track, the sector 3, which takes you underneath that beautiful hotel. And then through the last few corners into the lap. Sorry, I'm just a bit distracted with the YouTube comments, which is cool, and I love to see it. So any questions you want to ask me, feel free to until Michael Garone Jr. turns up, as Braden does a 34.3 on the medium tyre. That's actually quite a good lap there, as looks like it's Tizian in front of him, as Bo now jumps to the top with a 33.5 on the soft tyre. Who else is yet to, who's about to cross the line next? So Cameron Adams does a 35.1. He's had a pretty good season so far in Tier 1. The Tier 5 champion of Season 5. He'll be probably more ambition that he'll be in a more competitive tier next season, so maybe Tier 2. Liam's had a good run of results, not so long ago, recently got a podium. Vangela Sioi with a maiden win in Belgium. Who's jumped up? Theodore's only managed a 33.6, so the champion just a little bit off the pace in terms of where he would normally be. And greetings, Thierry Delany de Betlencow. One of the more interesting names of TNE and of Formula 1 World Racing. Imagine having that in Formula 1 real life on the grid lineup. It'd have to be like TDLDB. Your abbreviation would be quite interesting, actually. Anyway, so they're coming through. Just going to see who's the next one. And as Michael Garone Jr. now joins the broadcast through the stream, well, he joins the lobby. He should very soon join us in the party and join us in the commentary box. Who else is on a lap here? So Liam's about to come across the line and complete a lap. He does 34.4, not too bad there, as Michael Garone Jr. now joins us in the com box. Welcome, buddy. How's it going? He might have missed all that. Anyway.
I am here.
How's it going, buddy?
Doing alright. Fresh out of work. Glad to be here.
So we're just talking about all the transitions and that. People have been commenting quite a fair bit. Some people actually think I'm giving up everything in party. Oh, and we're actually also joined by Stuart Leslie. So,
oh boy.
I do believe you already have an invite for the lobby. If not, I'm sure Michael can provide you one. So, gentlemen, we've got the final race of the season 6.5, and everyone's sporting their own liveries. Have a flick through, Michael, and tell me which one you think's the best.
Ooh, I do like Brandon's quite a bit, just at first glance. Liam's, he could have done better. Let's see who's actually still out on.
Of course, for the record, the no assist Tier 1 division's the only division that won't be running the multiplayer cars. Every other division will be.
Out of the guys who are out on track right now, I'd say I like Brandon's quite a bit. Let's see what Jerome's looking. Ooh, I do like Jerome's as well. You know, there really is some good combinations and some really good looking liveries that you could put together if you get really creative. But they're hard to actually nail. Like, you could go quite simple. It's like, I don't know, you look at a car like, I think Theodore is actually just running a base livery. But yeah, I do like some of these liveries that are actually some thought put into them.
Bo's gone for just a standard in racism livery, the white and black.
Okay. Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't see a few more of those. Seen a lot of people use as helmets. I think they have the We Races 1 livery as well. Anybody using that?
No,
it doesn't look like it.
Liam just replies, "Can't believe I'm hearing disrespect for my Port Vale livery."
Oh.
I fear I don't get the reference.
I don't either. Nah, soccer.
Yeah, it could be football, soccer, or however you want to pronounce it around here. So, I'll just... let's quickly flick a invite to Mr. Leslie, who is appearing offline for the record.
Phone.
Ah, that actually sounds pretty good for a phone. So who we got on a flying lap? So Theodore's on a flying lap at the moment. He's on a 33.6. Bo repeating his pace from Brazil last weekend.
Yeah, I've just noticed that Bo's on a provisional pole. So is Bo outright quicker so far, or is that not all Theodore can get?
I'm not sure.
I'm just trying to catch up on things.
Theodore's initial banker lap was a 33.6. Bo initially did that, so it's hard to say right at the moment. We're still a fair bit of time left, and we'll see if Bo can improve on it, then that's a sign that it's legit, and it could be that Theodore might not be very quick around here.
Well, I was gonna say maybe, and this could be a stretch, but maybe he's practicing with manual gears?
Yes, sorry, but yeah, he is running no assist today.
Okay.
And Liam apparently is learning no traction as well.
Yeah, actually, now that I'm on board with Theodore, I could really tell that he's actually doing the gear changes himself. Yeah, you can tell that's manual gears, so...
So what were you about to say there, Stuart? He did disconnect very early at the start of things, and then I think from there he hasn't actually been able to get a lap in. Same could be said for Vagilis, who's running a very interesting Union Jack livery with black and yellow, as he actually jumps up to P6 with a 34.5.
That's on the mediums as well.
Yeah, well, Braden's time there of that 34.3, that's actually set on the mediums.
That's on the mediums. Jeez. So he's got to be a favorite for the pole if he could put in a good soft lap.
Well, he's on a flying lap now. I haven't seen any purple sectors just coming up yet, but he's coming around the last two corners now. Around the final corner, it's going to be a 33 something, a 33.6, so he goes P2 just a slightly ahead of Theodore. And Bo doesn't improve, so stays on his 35.8. 33.5, sorry. Who's that? That's just clattered the wall. That's Jerome. He's just done a 34.41. So currently P4. Joe Brindley on screen, and this very... God, even multiplayer cars are subject to the engine glitch. In fact, if you actually pay attention, if you go on... Well, I don't know if your T-Cam's the same as mine, but if you go on board, his steering wheel's going nuts. Like, all the telemetry is just flickering.
Joe Brindley's.
Yeah, but he's coming to the pits now, so...
normal for me.
Yeah, if you find a car with an engine glitch, check the onboard and you'll see the things go nuts. Interestingly, Jake Anthony without a time.
Ooh.
And Patrick, who had a very abrupt end to Brazil, currently sitting only on a 38.6. So I've got a comment here from Source Dung Young Boss. Much respect to the Transnation eSports. Feel free to elaborate on that one, mate. I'm more than eager to know why you believe that. And a couple of Brandon fans along the way as well. Just to reiterate.
What did you say that guy's name was?
Source Da Young Boss.
Sauce the Young Boss.
Oh yeah, Source the Young Boss.
Nice.
So yeah, okay, so here we go. We've got confirmation of who Cameron Adams' teammate will be for this race. It looks like it's going to be Brandon. And that's the one thing that... okay, so the committee haven't made it too... they've made it pretty good entertainment. Cool. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. The idea behind it was that we were going to look at the idea of making the sensors for multiplayer cars to be running as a whole next season. This is the only downside that we've found with it, is that there's no guarantee as to who's your teammate's going to be as Stuart disconnects from us, but I'm sure you're probably just having a connectivity issue because that usually happens with the phone. Best livery so far? For me personally, I suppose I really haven't had much time to really look at them in its entirety to...
Bachelus is just retired in the pits with 3 minutes to go.
Let's have a look. Sabrikia's was pretty alright. Patrick's is pretty nice. I like the blue and the black contrast. Anthony's is very English, which probably outlines his heritage and why he ran it. Bo's kind of disqualified because he didn't actually make one. And I suppose the same could be said for Theodore since he's running the base. I would probably have to agree with Michael and say Brandon's is definitely the most eye-catching.
I think I like it because he's matched it with the helmet.
Although
the helmet design
I'm a fan of Joe Brindley's as well, a little bit actually.
I do like Joe's. I think Lee Beatty's is pretty cool as well. But yeah, you were briefly talking about multiplayer cars and us potentially using them for next season. The problem is, I think you were going to talk about, there's no guarantee on who your teammate's going to be on a given race, and to keep that consistent, it's not really possible. I kind of want to... I don't know how they determine who your teammate's going to be. I think it's just completely random, which is a bit unfortunate. I'd love to see them implement a system to where you pick the multiplayer car, but you could actually go into the screen and select who your teammate's going to be.
Yeah, or there needs to be like a league system where you put teams in, and then one driver is the team boss, and they name the team and they pick their teammate. It would require a bit of experimenting with the league function to see if it kept a consistent teammate basis. So if you had a teammate in your garage, they would stay that way for the season. But the league function's pretty buggy, and I haven't really fixed it.
Not very good.
Yeah, it hasn't been a great revolutionary fix to what we've had. We had the online championship that we had several game cycles ago. It wasn't that bad. It was not very controlled, but it still kept the championship in prospect. You didn't have to remember what car you were in, you just joined in there it was. But yeah, the Abu Dhabi circuit always kind of provides, I think, Lane Everingham, or the Smeg as people know him, outlined this pretty heavily in last season's Oceania commentary with me. It's either going to produce really exciting racing, or it's going to produce absolutely boring races. There's no real in between with this circuit.
Oh. So Brandon's coming to the pits without improving, so
Bo looking like he's going to take his...
over.
Yeah, Bo takes his second provisional pole position back-to-back as well. So, unless Theodore has something to say about it, he's just coming through the last sector now. He's 1/100th of a second up on his previous best, which is still not enough.
Bo goes 33.1.
Yeah, so that's...
Theodore is going to be looking for a lot of time in the final sector.
It's going to need to be a 30.0, a low 30.1, or even a 32 for this to be pole position. And it's a 33.8.
He doesn't even improve.
Lost a lot of time. Jake Anthony's actually gone up to P4. Stu, you still with us?
Oh.
I'm here.
Oh, yeah, cool. So, who else is on a lap? Jerome's coming around the last corner, and he does not improve either. 34.198, so he's actually 1/100th of seconds. Although I think that's a glitch. They tend to glitch every now and again, and it makes it sound like they're only 1/1000th of a second off their time. Joe Brindley on a real slow lap here, a 41.9. Who else we got? We got Julian Monegro, who's invalidated.
I think the last guy who's going to be on a lap.
And this is well off. It's probably going to be in the 34s. It's a 35.1, which only puts him up a position. So that's pretty much it, really. We're just going to wait for Julian to retire, and this will give me a good time to look at Lee Beattie's livery. Actually, that is quite nice. It's a bit unfortunate that they don't have the decals or the sponsorship on them like you do in the My Career sort of thing. I think the helmets do, but
yeah, the helmets, Mac actually brought that up to me, that there's a way that you could put them on for online use. I don't believe you could do the same with the cars. But you may be able to, I don't know. I'm not too sure on that one.
It might be a league thing again, so if you use multiplayer cars on the league function, maybe that's what puts the thing in. So we're just waiting for Jake now to retire in the pits. There's a bit of a glitch going on with Lee Beattie's car. It's actually still travelling around with speed. Oh no, it's backed off a little bit
ran out of fuel.
I've got a comment there from Atix Music. You can put sponsors on cars. Atix has some. Okay, we'll have to keep an eye on that one then. You know, just for the record though, Tizzy, you don't need to refer to yourself in third person. So,
what if he wants to?
So Brayden did improve on his time with a 33.6 on the soft tyre, but presently he was only going to be probably at worst 6th place with the medium, so probably could have afforded the risk of staying on the mediums. Vagelis has elected to stay to his one, although I think he wasn't able to actually complete a proper lap on the softs. I would have thought CeeLo would have been a lot higher up, and Daniel Budwell the same, so... Oh, and Stu having a few bugs and issues. Yeah, so a lot of people think I'm actually retiring altogether. So just to set the record straight, I'm only retiring from full-time racing. I will be actually... so Tizian thought he was commenting on a different account. Well, that's even weird. No offense, Tizian, but that's even weirder. But yeah, so I'm not retiring full time, like completely from everything. I'm still going to be commentating, especially Tier 1 assists. it's just my full-time racing commitments are pretty much coming to an end with the notion of moving to PC with iRacing. But keep in mind, there may be a prospect of an F1 PC league. So if anyone is moving to F1 PC and still want to play F1, we might still be running a PC league as well. So keep your eyes open for that one. Who will be hosting that, we'll find out eventually. Got a comment here from Andy Eliminator. Well, I might have to try a league. Those times challenging. Oh, you're more than welcome to. Registrations are opening up for the Season 7 next year in 2021. Now, have a look at that. Position 10.
That's a lot of mediums.
Position 10 to 16 on the mediums. Oh, and Bo just about throws it. So, without further ado, the final grid lineup for T&E for Season 6.5, Season 2020, is Bo Wigger takes the final pole from Jerome Nicholas. So, must have missed that one actually at some point. So, Jerome snuck up to P2, and then Braden and Theodore makes up row 2. Row 3 is Jake Anthony and Liam in P6. Then Joe Brindley, Matty Smith, Cameron Adams and Vagelis makes up the top 10. Mike will take it from here.
P11 we got Julian Monegro. P12 is Tizian. P13 Daniel Budwell. Daniel's not been he's been up towards the back of the field the last couple of weeks. P14 we have CeeLo. P15 we have Lee Beatty, and then P16 is Patrick. Sorry, that's a little shaky. I literally just got home a half an hour ago.
Yeah, but you do throw a good point there with Daniel Budwell. He started off the season so promising in both accounts, both Season 6 and 6.5, and then suddenly just sort of dropped off the radar a little bit. Hasn't really come to explain why. So it could be something as simple as probably not practicing as much, or just maybe he is finding some difference grounds. He is signed up for Season 7, and here's our projected pit window. So it is a 2-stop from soft to medium, or soft to mediums in that regard, whether you want to go soft, medium, medium, or soft, soft, medium. You could 1-stop at soft to hard, but you will probably get swallowed up.
Hards are terrible. Hards are no good around here.
Now, I seem to recall you winning a 1-stop strategy here with soft to hard. Under great engineering tutelage.
Actually, I do remember that, and the last few laps were very tough because everybody was so much quicker than me.
But yeah, it's a viable strategy, especially if an early safety car does come in. You don't really... The soft tyre is not the ideal tyre either. It's more about the mediums. If Stuart's still here, whether he agrees or not.
I am here. I have no idea what to expect tire-wise on this track, though. This is all learning experience.
So here we go. The lights are out. It's the final race of the season, and it's lights out. And away we go for the final race of season 6.5. And it looks like it was actually a real good start there by Jerome. Bo's going to contest it into up to the first turn, but it's going to be Jerome taking the lead. Brandon slots into third. Everyone seems to have gotten through turn 1 in one piece. It's always this turn 3, but that's a bit dodgy. But
oh,
who was
accident!
Oh, big crash. Liam and Cameron Adams.
Now, what has happened?
That's an immediate safety car.
What has happened there?
I think somebody coming out of turn 3 got a little too wide and lost the car.
And then just collected it. So we'll have a look, because I did notice that Daniel Budwell was quite a bit back. Might have missed the start a little bit.
Yeah,
he's okay.
I was keeping an eye on that, Brett, and yeah, Daniel Budwell got a pretty bad start there off the line. Just don't know if he stalled it or just spun the tires really bad, but definitely a bad start.
So there is damage to Julian Monegro's car, and I think Cameron Adams was a bit far back. Liam was quite far up the field, so that's quite interesting. So I wonder if Julian Monegro may have been the catalyst behind that, or maybe he was the unfortunate party. Oh, okay, so...
Oh, God,
sorry,
Ken. Brett, I think I was keeping a bit of an eye on some of the starts of the drivers back there, and what I saw was, I believe it was just coming out of turn 3-ish, or that kind of sweeping right-hander. It looked like a car just, I believe it was Carter, got a little bit loose. Liam was unfortunately on his right-hand side, and as Carter got loose, he got into Liam and then just kind of took them both into the wall.
Yeah, Carter just did admit much that. Now, we've got some blinkers, actually, in the
We
pit stop
already got
window.
pit stops. Theodore and Anthony.
Which is
Are they going to the hard?
mediums for Anthony
Mediums for Theodore.
and of course Julia Monegro's in for a front wing change as to be expected. There's a comment here from Ken. I think I might leave you to read that one, Michael, because that one is kind of directed at you.
Let me... Hold on. Does it pertain to yesterday?
Yeah, it does pertain to yesterday.
Alright.
I don't know. I don't know the full details behind it because obviously I didn't race the F2 Nationals yesterday. I didn't even watch them because I don't think they were streamed. There was a very interesting conclusion to the sprint race, I believe it might have been.
Yeah, Ken's got a good point there. Nobody got absolutely murdered going into turn 1, which is good. Addix is texting and driving. He's chatting and driving in the live chat, so shout out to him right now.
This tends to happen quite a bit. Actually, Cameron Adams is quite famous for texting and driving, especially in race. He waits till he gets to a straight and then he messages the DXT guys on the Twitch channel. I can't believe it half the time. Amar does it, Axel Ericsson does it. We also got a Wild Harry Lillis in the chat, I just noticed too, so... Race ban for addicts, texting and driving infringement. Well, yeah, I mean, you shouldn't text and drive. It doesn't matter whether it's a game or not. But in any case, yeah, so... Very unfortunate start to the race with Cameron Adams and Liam Towie both out. And I'm sure... Oh, we got... Was that Jerome? Is that Bo? I think Bo just played the pit fake.
Maybe just trying to add some excitement to his safety car lap.
The thing about it is that I've seen a lot of pit fakes in iRacing, and they don't usually turn, they usually turn quite ugly. Especially when the person who times the pit fake does it to absolute perfection, and the guy behind them ends up
right into the barrier.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've seen a ton of those. So good.
It's a very common NASCAR trait, actually, and I think it happens quite a lot in actual NASCAR racing too, doesn't it?
Not to where people actually run into the wall, but it does happen where they'll act like they're gonna pit, and then at the last second they'll swerve out, and then people behind them can't react in time, and then they all end up getting trapped.
You would kind of think it would be an illegal action, given the danger
as long
of
as there's a commitment line, as long as you make it back across before the commitment line, you didn't commit any wrongdoing. But there has been times where a driver goes to do it and they clip the commitment. There's like an orange box literally on the track, on the point, to where you have to be within a specified range, similar to the white line in F1. And if you cross it, you get penalized. So sometimes it'll backfire. Ooh, safety car in this lap.
Oceania accents are interesting. Couldn't it also be said for those fake pits that it's unsafe swerving? I suppose in a sense it could be.
Yeah, I mean, as long as only one move is made, then...
I mean, I've seen people do fakes to go in. I've never seen them, go out, but I've never seen them sort of go fake in, fake out, and then fake straight back in to trick them. But I don't think you'd really I think once you're committed to the idea that you're not going to pit, you don't actually do that. Now, the safety car restart, Jerome in the lead of the race, which is probably good for his internet. His strange crashes in the last couple of races have been a real eye-opener for a lot of things. But anyway, he leads them through down towards turn 1 for hopefully a clean first flying lap around this Yas Marina circuit. He takes into turn 1 nice and cleanly, and Bo is caught with him. The actual person who's been caught napping quite a fair bit is Braden. He actually has lost a whole second on the front two. Everyone else seems to have been... Who was that?
Fedor's around with wing damage.
So he's just managed to... I mean, there's not much more he's got to do at the moment. He's the champion now. He's won a handful of races. He's trying his no assist part, which, given he's got the easiest job of no assist. But yeah, he's going to probably have some fun with it. At the end of the Nationals Assist Tier 2 race, no assist, there's going to be an expression session. So whoever's watching, it'll be for the champion, the podium, and for myself, where we're going to probably just do donuts with no, because the rules will be turned off. So coming through the third sector now, and there's quite a comfortable buffle between second and third. What's going on back here?
Jake up to P10 takes advantage of Patrick going off a little bit. Jake actually could be a real dark horse with this strategy. He's done the one lap that he needs to do on the softs. He could realistically do the rest of the race on the mediums as CeeLo gets his first penalty. But yeah, Jake could be in a real good position here, being that he could just run mediums the rest of the race. And he already looks pretty pacey compared to some of these soft runners. I mean, he's making his way through pretty easily. So
all he has to do really at this point in time is get past CeeLo, who would be next on his account, and the gap is a little bit in the way of 18, so DRS won't be active just yet, but I'm sure anyone that's got some straight line speed will have an edge, and of course CeeLo already has himself a 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits. Theodore's in, so he'll just have a bit of fun to himself. The pit window, as Braden actually is looking for a move around the outside of Bo coming into the hairpin, so that gap he's lost actually at the start of the race, he's clawed his way back on. Actually, now that I think about it, that livery that he's running, I'm pretty sure that's actually a preset. Looks like one of those Keep Fighting Michael ones.
Here goes Anthony.
Braden.
Yeah. Ooh, hello.
Oh, CeeLo does not allow him through. CeeLo is actually looking at...
yeah, Lee Beattie.
Was that wing off, or was that
wing damage, I think.
Oh, this is a dangerous
I couldn't tell if that was a piece of wing flying off or one of the bollards, but...
There was definitely an end plate from a baby blue car that was thrown across
maybe
the
Matty
track.
Smith? No.
It might be further up the field. It might actually be Joe Brindley. His front wing, I think, is a baby blue. No,
he's got all of it too.
Anyway, it's still trailing along quite well for these guys. Jake's with the watching brief. Julie Monegro, having served his pit stop, has come out in relatively peace. Budwell still hasn't really made much ground up. He's actually losing time to these guys, so something's really happened to him at the end of the season. Jake is having a real move.
Into the apex.
Oh, and Jake's got to be careful because Monegro fancied a move, but Jake's got the run coming out of the hairpin and the traction, and that's probably a slight advantage or traction control coming out of that corner. Oh,
Angelis. Yeah, tried to make a move.
Oh, so close to Anthony, nearly actually clouding the back of Lee Beattie with that overtake. That's the one thing I don't like about these corners, is that you can commit to an overtake, but you can at the same time tag the person behind. And yeah, these guys are going at it, so they're actually delivering to us a great race at the moment.
Bo is trying to get around Stomper right now, and he was side by side with him, but was unable to get that move done.
So next on Anthony's account is Lee Beattie, and he's right up his gearbox there, and Lee's just slowly trying to make his way towards Matty Smith, who's had a really good season as CeeLo picks up another penalty. He's the only driver. He was the first driver to pick up a penalty. Now he's the only driver.
Bo's in early.
Yeah, it'll be the
I
undercut.
guess that's not super. I think that's a lap early.
Yeah, I think it's about lap 7, and then a few laps on the mediums. What is he changing to is the question. According to this, he's gone to the medium, so he will be committing to the 2-stop of soft, medium, medium. Theodore is the only driver now. Oh, hang on, someone's just dropped the Minigro.
That's Julian.
Julian having a fair bit of a spin, and Patrick picks up a 3-second penalty. He drifts out wide in the proceeds. As Anthony's trying to go around the outside of Lee Beattie in a really tight area. As Theodore picks up his first penalty.
He's going to make that work.
He's going to try and sell the dummy. Throws it down the inside. And doesn't quite get it, but if he can get the switch back in. Yeah, oh, he actually
gets much better traction.
Beautiful move. So next onto this account is Matty Smith, and then once, because with these two of Addicts, well, Tizian and Vagelis battling, Anthony could find himself quite punchy towards this point. He could be leading the race once all the pit stops confirmed. Now, what does Jerome do here? Does he cover?
I think this worked out really well for Bo, because he came out pretty much clean air. He doesn't have to worry about too much traffic other than Julian.
Jerome is going to cover from Bo, but Braden goes another lap.
So does Joe Brinley.
So does Joe Brinley. Matty Smith is in.
So that actually takes away one element for Anthony to not worry about those around him. Now, if you cast your mind back this time last season, he absolutely dominated this race, whereas Jerome had an absolute shocker. This season, well, Jerome's still in the lead, but, oh, this will be close. Actually, Jerome's got the massive undercut. In fact, actually, the overcut's more worked in the favour in this time.
Yeah, I think the gap is just about the same as what it was before.
Maybe.
Still just over a second, and Bo's killed about pretty much, all of his ERS. Jerome's been able to save a little bit in the lead, so Bo's going to be kind of compromised here for the next couple of laps.
CeeLo's just made a move on Lee Beattie for position. Here comes Vagelis again on Tizian. This time he goes around the outside, which sets him up for the inside there, outside here, and then outside here.
And Jake has arrived.
Yellow flag. Someone's had an off.
Lee. That was, I don't know all the
CeeLo.
names. That was a terribly unsafe re-entry.
He just hit Jerome.
And Bo. Bo's been collected as well.
That was 100% an unsafe re-entry.
And
then retires
on the track.
Ugh. So Bo has been compromised by this. He didn't get any wing damage, but he did get collected as a result. Yeah, Jerome won't be too thrilled about that. What's the damage on Jerome's end? There's quite a bit of wing damage. He's missing both his end plate. Well, he's missing an end plate, and then he's missing the whole right-hand side of his wing. So he'll be due in. There is still points, so if Jerome wants to end the season on something, he can carry on and still score some points. That's what Theodore's intending. But yeah, that was that's certainly not the way you want to end your season. Is Anthony now on the back of Tizian?
I think he's going to get the move done. He's going to go around the outside. The moves we've seen him make were down the inside, but he makes that look pretty easy.
So next will be Vagelis, and that will be the last driver on the medium strategy. So basically, once he gets ahead of these guys, his strategy really comes into play.
Yeah, but he's pretty much going to force these guys that are still out there onto a one-stop, because he effectively only has to do one more stop. As long as he could make it to a window to do another set of mediums, he's only got to do one more. So Vagilis and Tizian are going to be stuck putting on the hard, and then you could even say that first and second, Brayden and Joe are going to be forced to do the hard as well, because doing a soft medium around here is pretty tricky. They might be trying to stretch those softs to do that, but yeah, Jake is really being a thorn in the side of a couple of guys here who are trying to put up a good fight for this win.
I will say the biggest winner that's come out of all this situation with Jerome and Bo and all that will be Brayden, because technically he stayed out in a bid to try and... I think Brayden's actually trying to go for the one-stop here. You wouldn't generally drag your tyres out 10 laps without sort of... Unless he's going to try and do a longer soft stint, a shorter soft stint, then a medium stint to the end. Not that I'd really see that being efficient, but to me this is a one-stop strategy, and I think Joe Brindley is following. But he's starting to actually get a little bit eaten up here by the medium runners.
Yeah, I think you're right on the one-stop. And yeah, you're also right. If he pits there with Jerome and Bo, he's going to be caught up in that incident. So he's probably feeling... He might not even know that it even happened, but he's got to be feeling lucky that
he'll be probably...
decided
if he watches
to
back at
extend
this,
his
and
stint.
if he watches back and sees this, he'll just sit there and think, "Oof, I've played that card quite right." Now, yeah, so Bo is currently... Let's have a look at the leader scale. So currently on the leader scale, Bo is 17 seconds behind the leader. So I'm not sure what the transit time around Abu Dhabi is, but I think it's more than 17. But obviously Brayden's going to be on much better tyres, and Bo, of course, will have to stop again.
Yeah, he'll have to stop again. Jake's up into P3, so he's going to be right on the back of Joe Brindley here pretty shortly. I just noticed, comment from Harold Lewis, "Can I join the donut session? Think I was the best driver across all tiers this season." I think I have to agree with that one.
So yeah, Jerome's chucked on a set of softs. Who's that? That's just come in. That's Patrick. So Patrick's having a pretty good race. I mean, given where he was last weekend, this is a pretty good return serve. And more accolations for Brandon. So it's good to see he's got a few fans there, as now Joe Brindley paves the way and lets his fellow DXT driver through. We also have to pay mention that Matty Smith now is apparently an official member of DXT as well, so the DXT group is continuing to grow. His personal favourite race was Baku. What happened to me in Baku?
I'll tell you about Baku. I absolutely murdered Harry going into turn 3. Not murdered, but going into turn 3, I was behind him. He broke a little bit earlier than I expected, and I ran right into the back of him and spun him around.
Yeah, I remember now, because I actually was commentating that race with Stuart, because I didn't make it in time to race my one.
Yeah, and Harry didn't talk to me for a couple of days.
No, murder's the right word according to him.
It wasn't to the level of what happened yesterday to me, but
so
I'd call that murder.
Okay, so we've gone off the rails a bit. We've just missed Brayden Pitt, and he has come out 4 seconds behind Bo, but he actually pit for the mediums.
So 16 laps. 16 to 17 laps that would be.
Surely.
I guess it's possible.
I know.
Stu, didn't you try this? You did this strategy on last year's game in regionals.
Yeah.
You did the soft to medium.
We also had the aid of a safety car in there, and we also had a late safety car towards the end, and we all ended up fitting the softs at the end of the race. So, no, it was... I mean, it was possible in last year's game. I don't know about this year's game, though.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think there is a possibility that it can happen, but I think it is a bit of a stretch. Now, Bo has ended up getting trapped behind Daniel Budwell, who's yet to pit. Oh, Bo, this is not a place you want to be considering an overtake. Actually...
Budwell has just gone way too deep.
Yeah, so that's pretty much gifted in that position. Lee Beattie's the next on the account. So, Joe Brindley now in now. I'd be curious to know what Brindley's about to do. I'd say he'd be more better fitted to be on the medium, which he is. Looks like he is going to be on. As Beattie and... Sorry, Beattie's followed him in. So currently the longest driver set on the mediums is Budwell and Tizian and Vagelis with 12. Then obviously... Actually, hang on. I think Bo might have some wing damage. Oh, it might have been... Because I was just thinking the flex of that front wing on through the curb was way too raggedy to be considered a tacked wing, as Brandon now clears Mr. Budwell for position 5. Your race leader is Jake Anthony. We do expect him to pit very soon. But he'll be looking quite pretty near the end of the race.
Yeah, I think he'll be looking... He's going to have the freshest tires towards the end of the race, because he'll just split these two medium runs in half. I think he's on 10 laps now. So if he went another 3 laps, I'd say lap 15 or 16 we'll see him in. And he'll just split those 2 medium stints in half, and he's going to have a much more pace through the end of the race than a lot of other guys. Especially Braden. Braden's going to have to really do... I think right now he should be doing the conservation, so he can at least have a little bit left in the tank towards the end of the race, which, as I say that, he goes and does the fastest lap.
He's right on the back of Bo. I was just thinking about it because it's... Your provision, as it stands, your provisional race leader is Jake Anthony. Your on actual pit stop checked race leader is Bo, but he's under severe attack now from Brandon. So Brandon is a no assist user too. So this is an interesting contrast to show the differences between assist and no assist. But they're looking relatively equal terms of pace. Theodore has actually managed to get himself up to P11. So his one-stop strategy, well, forced one-stop strategy, isn't doing him too much harm. Jerome will have to pit again, obviously, to get off those softs. We should probably keep our eyes out. In fact, Braden's actually already cleared him, so that's a change for what will be the race lead. So this could be a very interesting last 14 laps. We haven't really been caught with a boring moment in this race. In fact, as I say this, we've got Vagelis and Joe Brindley going at it, as Joe actually carves away and lets Vagelis through. Vagelis is actually on the hards.
Yeah, he's pretty much had to do that to do one stop. He started on the mediums, so also Tizian starting on the medium. So pretty much all the guys that you've seen who started on the medium are now on the hards to execute that one stop. Guess they just didn't want to stretch the mediums all the way to do the softs at the end. So there, I mean, it looks like it's working for Vagelis. He's gotten around Joe. It looks like he's not really driving away. But he's put a little bit of a gap between the two of them. Lee Beattie's on the soft, actually. So is he going... Did he start on the... He started on the medium, so is he doing medium, soft, soft?
I mean, we saw a couple one driver with 13 laps on the soft that I see. Of course, there was safety car laps included in that, but this might be a bit of a stretch to bring those softs to the end.
Yeah, I think, was it him last week that did 2 soft stints at the end? At Brazil. I believe it was him. And it paid off okay for him, so he's trying to pull that off again. I don't know if this is the best track to do it at, but yeah, we'll have to see how that pans out. As, that gap to the lead has already been diminished to 5.5 seconds. That is crazy, the difference between fresh tires.
Yeah, no kidding. So, 13 laps now, currently the longest sitting for any medium runner in this race. Obviously Jake's going to probably try and get maybe to about lap 18, where there is the prospect of, or maybe even as far as lap 20, so that there's the possibility of just jumping back onto another set of fresh softs. Lead Beatty's on the softs, which, yeah, it's a bit of a stretch. What would that be? He's already done 2, so that's 14 laps on a set of softs.
I didn't think about Jake stretching that set to do another soft set. I mean, potentially that could be the best way to go, because he'll be rapid those last 8 laps, but is he going to lose too much time?
Well, I just think
right
about
now.
It. So, if I remember correctly, it was 17 seconds between Bo and Braden when Braden pit, and then Braden came out about 4 seconds behind Bo. So that's about a 21 second time drop. So based on this, he would drop in probably just behind Joe Brindley in P6. But with fresh softs, and the gap between obviously Vagelis and Joe is not much in it, and then it would be a further 5 seconds to Matty Smith. He could see himself about P4. And if, based on the penalty system, although pretty much everyone, only from the bottom 8, excluding Jerome, obviously all have penalties. I do hope that poor, hang on, I need to find this, Monegro, it's actually Patrick with the most this time around. I was saying, I hope poor Monegro doesn't go 3 races in a row with a disqualification.
Oh no.
Although that's in regionals, not in nationals.
Yeah, well, so he had one in nationals, and then at regionals at the same track.
Oh yeah, he did too.
They were both at Mexico. So he couldn't keep it on the track around Mexico. I think Bo and Matt are going to have to pit again. I don't foresee that they make it to the end. So that's going to be... Jake will at least know there's 2 guys that behind him that also have to make a stop, but I mean, he's going to have to do... This isn't the easiest track to overtake. I guess with much newer and much quicker tires, it'll be a little easier, but he's going to have to exert some patience. I don't think the win is on the cards for him. The win is definitely not on the cards for him.
I mean,
how much Braden's catching him.
If we see a late safety car here, though, then...
A late safety car would really... Yeah, a late safety car would really play into the hands of Jake.
Well, let's look at it in a perspective. So, currently, right now, he's on 14 lap tyres as Matty Smith now breaks that cycle. But if he takes those tyres to lap 20, that's 17 laps. So, right now, when Bo crosses the line for this lap, he'll be on 10 lap used tyres. And it will also be 9 laps left to go. So that's 18. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't think Bo's gonna make it. I really don't think those maybe Matt.
Yeah, Matty Smith might be more likely to, but at the moment his pace differential is kind of really hurting him because he is getting eaten up by the slightly younger tyres of Joe Brindley and...
I've just noticed Braden's got wing damage.
Does he?
Yeah. And Bo's right on the back of him.
He does too. I wonder what happens there.
Potentially, I don't think Jerome is actually in that car because he's been lapped going quite slowly.
Yeah,
Maybe he got into... the back of an AI car.
Jerome has been very animated in the assist tier 1.
Yeah, I did see that.
I mean, they always say the final race brings up a fair bit of controversy. It's definitely a lot going in play.
Joe Brindley's made his way around Maddie.
Yeah.
I'll
tell you what though, Brandon, even though he has that wing damage, it's really highlighting how much Anthony might be struggling a bit with those mediums.
Yeah,
because even with that wing damage, still catching him.
Yeah, the gap's diminishing quite a bit. Jerome's looking like he wants to try and race in no assist tier 1 tonight. It's not really up to me to decide, it's really up to the tier coordinator, so we'll leave that in Mackenzie's hands. Maybe check your internet connection but well before that, if that's the case.
Yeah,
the lag wasn't too bad today, I can admit that much.
Today, no, it wasn't.
But it still could be a potential issue. Now, who's just jumped? Oh, so Matty Smith has actually decided to bite the bullet. That puts Joe Brindley
up
up
to the softs.
Yeah, that's...
So that'll be 10 laps.
Which I think is
we know that could be done.
Yeah, because if you think about it, the race procedure, you're talking about a qualifying an out lap, a quality lap, an in lap, and a formation lap, then 7 laps maybe at best. So you're looking at about maybe 11 laps on a fresh set. Maybe 9 before they fall off the cliff. We've got Daniel Budwell on the back of Tizian for position 7, so whatever pace drop that Daniel Budwell had at the start of the race has kind of come back to be better for him. But yeah, I'd be very curious to know if Jerome's AI may have played a part in Braden's front wing damage.
Jake's gonna come in and Bo's gonna find himself in a similar situation as he did last week, where he was on a set of mediums that were just not working for him anymore, and everybody was catching him those last few laps. Kind of costed him the win.
Softs for Jake.
Softs for Jake.
He may come out just, like I say, the game would be projecting roughly about just behind, maybe... Well, this will be close, probably between him and Vagelis. Maybe not close, but about where I suspected.
So he's lost about 19 to 20 seconds, seems like.
So P4, as I said, is his best opportunity. Maybe even P3 if Bo elects to pack it in and pit. Although
I think he's within striking distance of Joe Brindley as well.
I was going to say, I would keep an eye on Joe here, because we know that Brandon has wing damage, and it's not going to get any better as this race goes on. Bo, you mentioned the tires. They might fall off at the end. I mean, if we see those guys end up coming into pit, then it could be interesting for Joe.
Will be a good telling point to show the gap between Bo and Joe, because there's 8 laps left to go. Bo would be looking at the gap thinking, there's 12 seconds to the guy behind me, I don't have penalties, he doesn't have penalties, so it's a break. Oh no, hang on, as I say this, he is in.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much understood as Jake wasting no time.
Oh, that's a
P4.
That's a dangerous.
P3.
That is a dangerous place to be committing to an overtake. But Vagelis played the respect game and didn't give him much room. Oh, sorry, he gave him much room.
That's P3 now for Jake, and now he's literally right on the back of Joe, just like that. And as he gets a penalty.
This could hurt, but in the same time, he does have the tyre pace to kind of pull away, but it will hurt him in his bid to try and get to the back of Brandon. So this is pretty much Brandon's race. At least, of course, the safety car does come out, which would still hurt Jake, but obviously would hurt Braden more as Jake now commits that move and gets it done quite easily. Our 51st comment. We actually haven't had this many comments in a long time, so, and an impressive 15, although last weekend we had 21, so yeah, didn't waste much time in showing the DXT boys that number.
Oh boys, just looking at this number that Anthony, I mean, he was about 14 seconds behind Brandon at the start of this lap. And he's already up to right around 11. So
yeah, he's already clawed 1.2 out of Joe Brindley too. So this could be interesting. Now, Bo, surprisingly, I didn't actually pay attention to what tyre he would.
He's on the medium.
Yeah, he went back to the mediums. I would have thought maybe, unless give or take,
Potentially
he
ran out of softs.
Yeah, because you get 3 softs. That's a lap time. You get 3 sets of softs in qualifying. The third set is actually a transferable one, so it gets used in the race. So maybe Bo had used his 3 sets and then didn't want to chuck on a roaded set of softs, which, give or take, if you've done a heat soak on the 1 set of softs, that's still better than mediums.
Oh, Matty's going up the inside here into 1, and he's going to get that done. A good battle going on here for P6, actually. These guys have been duking it out here for a lap.
Well, it's been really good, actually, to see that we actually really haven't had a dull moment in this race. Everyone's been within close, safety car, other than the first lap safety car, to have a race where there's no actual safety car intervention, to actually have these kind of gaps is, so that
our leader gets a penalty, so now they're on even grounds there.
And
so
it's 9 seconds, so that gap is just chewing. But yeah, there's just hasn't been a dull moment this entire race, which is quite rare for Abu Dhabi. Given the circumstances, it usually produces some of the most boring races. So, sorry, Singapore Tier 1, it looks like you're going to remain as the most boring race of the of the season. And Abu Dhabi could actually come up as one of the most exciting.
Yeah, me and Lane spoke about it a little bit in Monday Regionals after following Mexico. We kind of talked about how some of the boring tracks in real life actually provide good racing in the game, and this track, I believe, is one of them. Mexico, like I just said, is also one of them. So yeah, it's kind of funny how on this game, as Matty picks up another penalty, on this game we can create some excitement out of some of these circuits that real life drivers can't. Yeah, I don't know, just interesting to me. Harry says Singapore.
Yeah, believe me, Harry, you'd have to watch it to understand. It was a very painful race as Theodore.
Bo's going around, yeah, Theodore.
Evangelist and Bo. But yeah, Theodore's had a very boring race. But, considering he was around at turn 1 after the safety car restart, originally he was on the first couple of rows at the start of the race. He made the same call as Anthony to pit for fresh tyres on the safety car. It didn't work for him as much, but he's still trundling along. P9, and he will be crowned the champion at the end of this race, so he's done a really good job all season, especially applying the pressure to, at the time, Piers Langford, who surprised probably the whole Tier 1 pit paddock last weekend by getting his maiden no assist Tier 1. I'm sure you probably didn't see that one coming, either one of you two.
I know that Piers does have very good pace.
Matty.
Yeah.
Matty Smith's gone around.
Yeah, Pierce's pace has been good. I mean, you've seen it here many a times where he's just punched out Tier 1 no assist times and then absolutely pissed off in the race. So it was probably an inevitable point but for me personally, I was thinking more of a Season 7 maiden win. I wasn't actually expecting him to be, 4 races in and then claim a win.
Yeah, his pace translated almost immediately, as I kind of predicted, and I remember telling him when he announced that we were going to make the switch, I remember telling him that it wasn't going to be very long before he felt comfortable again. And it wasn't very long, so I think the first week he turned... What was his first race in no assist? Belgium.
Yeah.
And he was on pace with everybody immediately. So I think he was running in the top 3 until I think there was an incident under safety car, and that kind of ruined his race. But yeah, he's had a lot of pace. The results never really showed it until Brazil last week, but incredible how he's able to just be quick no matter what circumstance, car. Even in the F2 cars, he was cool. He was slow the first. Ooh, Theodore.
Oh, Theodore's actually crashed.
Theodore's retired.
And that's brought out a virtual. Now, this could be a... Oh, no, he's missed the pit entry. I was going to say, this could have been a lucky break for Braden. But we were watching... There's a 3-way battle for the podium here now. Joe Brindley, Bo, and Vagelis are just right on each other's door handles. This could be a make-or-break situation for any of these drivers. A drive-through penalty... Well, actually, it wouldn't be a drive-through now. It'd be a... Well, you could serve a drive-through. It probably would hurt less than a 20-second time penalty. But, yeah, you don't want that penalty looming. So who's going to make or break this?
This helps Brandon because it just takes some time away that Anthony's able to... Takes away a half lap or a full lap that Anthony was going to be able to close on him as we're back to green. But Anthony's just under 3 seconds behind right now with a few laps to go. This is going to be a close finish here for the win.
It was also quite an interesting contrast because it's
Bo's up to P3.
Yep.
Good move.
Bo gets
Around the
Joe.
outside. So
The thing about it too with the virtual safety car, it's also one of those kind of ones where it's like where the virtual safety car starts and where it ends. So sometimes it can be so unfortunate that it could start ending in the middle of a corner, so you kind of don't know where you're at in terms of pace. Because as you can see, even though he lost a few seconds because of the virtual, he's already back within... He could be
2 seconds.
He'll probably be within DRS range by the end of this lap, so... Now
He's been so much better through Sector 3, of course, Brandon having the wing damage and just the older tires. Jake's been able to make up so much ground through that Sector 3. I've been watching his...
1.2. He might be able to snag DRS this lap.
Yeah, so he's... The biggest winner of this race has actually been... It's actually a 3-4-way tie between Tizzy and Daniel Budwell, Patrick and Julian Monegro. So all these guys have had some pretty good races so far. Obviously, there's a few casualties. Jerome won't be classified as a finisher because, as far as I'm aware, hasn't been in the race for as long as 75%. 24 viewers, so we've just beaten the record for Brazil. So well done, and thank you everyone for enjoying this final race of season 6.5. And I'll tell you what, they're delivering a beauty.
Here it comes. This is going to be the battle for the lead.
Now, what does Brendan do? Does he get his elbows out because he knows that this is a maiden win, possibly going down the window, or is he going to just consolidate the prospect
Jake
of a
around
podium?
the outside.
Horrible shot, and gets it done.
And Jake's got it done. And
Great.
unfortunately,
Vagelis is out!
Oh no! Where is he?
He was trying to get around Joe, and I think he might have got into the back of him a little bit, just got a really good run, and he lost the rear end of the car and right into the barrier.
So
that's on the straight.
Yeah, so let's have a look. So whereabouts are we? There he is there. Wow.
Ooh.
It's just a localized yellow though.
Oh, actually, as I say that,
Budwell's making an overtake through the yellow flags.
And gets...
and there's a little contact, and Tizian gets it back.
And Matty Smith gets it.
I think Budwell was going to have to give that spot back anyway.
Yeah, so that was probably a bit mischievous from Daniel Budwell, and that's actually come back to hurt him. So the gap 1.7 seconds out the front now, so Jake can afford to cruise. Bo probably needed a few more laps, really, and that was going to go into the sort of aspect of that. Joe Brindley has definitely been man of the match this weekend. Where did he qualify? So he's gone up 3 spots. So he started P7. Tizian's now up 7, so he'll probably get the driver of the day. Although, not if Matty Smith has anything to say about it. That even with 7-lap soft tyres, oh god, this is going on like a... Holy cow, this is a really messy scrap for 6th, 7th and 8th. Well, actually for 5th in its entirety. Poor Patrick's probably had one of the loneliest races of all time. Oh, this could... Hang on, here we go. So, Matty Smith's going to have a look around at Tizian coming into the slow corner. Tizian's going to go defensive.
It's going to be a late move. Matty around the outside.
And up the inside into the next one. This is where Hulkenberg came unstuck. He does give Tizian a bit of a...
goes off, and he's going to have to concede. He might come back at him, though.
Yeah, there's a lot
Both
more
of them
ERS.
no ERS, and Tizian around the outside now.
Oh, and Matty's been shafted.
Oh.
None of these guys have any ERS left.
I think, and part of my French, it is the last race of the season, so I'm actually going to say it, no fucks given. They're just racing for sheep stations. I mean, pretty much most of the championship has been wrapped up. I think, actually, there was a battle for second between... Actually, I'll go back and look at the championship standings on that, because there was actually a battle there for second and third, and that was between Jake Anthony and Liam Towie. Well, that's going to go in the way of Liam. Yeah, so it's definitely going to go in the way of Anthony, and Anthony will actually cut the championship lead down to 39 points, which doesn't matter. But still, that's a statement to say, you know, he's come back. I mean, have a look at that. He was absolutely nowhere at the start of Season 6 and 6.5, and now he's going to end 6.5 second in the championship. So not bad for a, in terms of a title defence.
Yeah, he's really grinded all season. Lost his teammate, his dynamic duo, about halfway through Season 6.5, and he's still out there.
Oh,
he gets
no!
Another penalty.
He's just got another...
That's not going to matter. He's
no.
5 seconds in front.
So he takes the win, and much like he did in Season 6, he wins the final race of the season.
Bo's going to be P2 after penalties.
Yeah, so Bo grabs P2, and Braden will once again stand on the podium. Joe Brindley...
That battle's still going on.
So Joe Brindley will take P4, but this...
Is Budwell... Oh, a big crash. And Matty Smith is off as well.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I just saw a car dash across the track, and that must have been Budwell.
And Patrick is gonna... Wait, somehow Julian's... Where's Julian gone?
Julian was just at the beginning of this lap, coming out of turn 3 or 4, I think.
So he'll still
and
be...
Patrick is grinding his way to this finish. He's got 12 more seconds of Matty, so I don't
Lee
think
Beattie
he's
goes
gonna...
up to P5. Tizian P6, Matty Smith with the damage. But
I think Lee might have been involved in that incident with Budwell and Matty.
So there we have it, one of the most chaotic ends to a race in a good way.
Everything just fell apart that final lap.
So driver of the day goes to Lee Beattie, actually, instead of Tizian, which is a bit of a surprise. So we will now grab our podium for the final race of this season, which will probably only be Jake and Brandon, because Bo doesn't tend to ever want to... I think Bo will be one of those kind of, I'll only join the presentation when I win a race. So I think going on the pace that he's demonstrated over the last couple of races, I think he's a good shot for next season. No assist, well, assist tier 1, especially with Theodore and Jerome and all that paving way to no assist. So could be really good for Bo next season.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to look out for a specific American that's going to be contesting tier 1 assists.
Yeah.
J-Dunk, I think, has got a lot of promise for next season. If he gets a hold on just ABS on, I think he'll be a real contender. Vagilis as well is going to be really solid if he stays in assists. So next season should be really, really exciting to see. I think we're going to have a good 3-4-way battle.
Yeah, but for now, we've got Brendan yet again on the podium, yet again another P3 finish. A very interesting strategy you played there. Unfortunately, the differences in the tyres was costly, and the 3-second penalty did cost you second place, but still, your 2 races you've contested, 100% podium streak, that's not too bad. Must be feeling good heading into Season 7 next season. Yeah, Jerome. Yeah, it's certainly one of those ones, and it's unfortunate with lap cars, especially under circumstances as such. But you know, you definitely take away a lot. Your pace was blistering hot with the difference in strategy. We were kind of under the impression you were going to do it one stop. So was that under the cards, or did you kind of think? Were you? I mean, you've pushed the one stop with the softer mediums, but were you intending to do that, or did you initially start with the softer hard and thought, no, maybe I could take these mediums to the end? Okay, well, thanks for that. Michael, Stu, you got anything you want to add?
Had toward the end and the wing damage. So, how much? What do you think hurt you more in terms of did the wing damage hurt your pace more, or was it the tires? And if you didn't pick up that wing damage, do you think you would have had a chance to actually defend that position? Stu, you got anything?
No, I mean, I guess kind of mostly running a race a bit by yourself there today, but a good effort there to bring it home in P3 and a good way to wrap up the season.
No doubt. It doesn't look like we're going to have Jake Anthony, but he's probably getting himself ready to commentate no assist tier 2. So without further ado on that one, so congratulations, Brandon, but of course, big congratulations to our winners and podium finishers. Thanks, Stuart, for joining us for the final race today. And good to try and get you in when you always pull me in, so that's great. And I'll definitely see you on the Monday for, what would it be, Brazil?
Brazil.
Yeah, so, and of course, big thanks to Michael Groan Jr., my number 2 in the com box. He's definitely deserves the number 1 status more than anything else. He's been the true Martin Brundle of TNE commentary, and we'll be back next season. And of course, good luck in your final race of the season. Good luck, Stu, with your commentary. I don't know if you're going to have Big Mike or not, but either which way, we'll have fun with it, enjoy it. And of course, for those who are watching, my final race as a full-time driver is coming up in half an hour. I will be live streaming it on Twitch. There is going to be a lap of honour for me during qualifying, and of course at the end of the race there is going to be an expression session, which I'm sure Michael, you could throw that suggestion to Mackenzie as well. So
for me to join? Or...
No, you make your own one for tier 1. So a 90-minute session, no rules, and allow people to just do like the champion, the top 3, to do burnouts and have a chat about the season, sort of thing. So,
all right.
So from the guys here at Transnation eSports, commentary, stewards, committees, and everyone around, thanks for watching season 6.5, season 6 as a general. It was unfortunate that we did kind of jump from Season 6 to 6.5, but inadvertently it created a much better championship all around. Congratulations to our 5 champions. So Andrew Lee, our champion of No Assist Tier 1. Scotty Harris, No Assist Tier 2 champion. Theodore Dragishi, Tier 1 Assist champion. Jake Foster, a champ. Oh, actually, hello. Okay, so we got Bo. Bo, so welcome to the podium. We were actually about to wrap up, so quite convenient that you've graced us with your presence. P2, mate, how's it feel?
Yeah, it was amazing, amazing race. So I'm so happy with that result. I'm speechless.
So you've backed up your qualifying from last weekend with a P2 finish. A P1. So you've back-to-back pole position, and unfortunately, your race was probably a tiny bit compromised by that incident with Jerome and I think it might have been CeeLo. But obviously, it didn't deter you too much. But all in all, your pace was pretty red hot. It's just that the alternate strategy from Jake proved to be the winning strategy.
Yes, yeah. So the qualifying pace for me is very good, but race pace is not so good for me. So I hope I can, yeah.
Well, I'm sure
For
heading
next
into
season,
season 7,
I
you'll
hope
be a lot better with that one, no doubt. You'll definitely be one of the red hot favourites, with all the top guys moving to no assist and whatnot. So congratulations on that. We'll see you in season 7. Mike and Stu, do you want to add to that?
You.
Yes. Yeah, just ask about the final stint. You did pit onto the mediums. So was that a matter of you not having any softs left, or did you just feel the medium would be the better tire towards the end?
So I had no new soft for to pit, but the mediums feel so much better on the track. So that's why I'm going to the mediums.
All right. Well, there you go.
Stu, anything else?
No, I mean just a good race, Bo, and big congrats again on another well-earned podium position here. Again, like I said, for Bryn, nice way to wrap up your season as well.
Thank you.
So, without further ado, we are going to wrap it up and completely, and just to show everyone now, I'm currently got it on screen. This is the tribute livery that will be running in today's race. A little bit of heritage to my racing with Racing Point, and it's an interesting team to have decided to end my season or end my career with. So, I'm probably going to get a bit emotional. So do be sure to watch it. It's going to be on Twitch. There is going to be a stream on with Jake Anthony and Alex Boniface. So we're done with season 6.5. Our next race actually will be the regionals for Brazil for the Americas server. I don't know about the European. I think they might be actually continuing their campaign over into 2021. But our next race, our next non-official TNE race, is the Sprint Mode Championship. So that is going to be the great fun, bit of alcoholic humour, potty humour, swearing, cussing, abusive language, not for the faint of heart. So to those who have been watching the assist tier race, that will be this will be the time of the Sprint Mode Championship. So 9 o'clock New Zealand Standard Time, and it'll be 20 drivers in an open lobby, mind you. So it's going to be an open lobby. So if we don't have all 20 drivers from the word go, we're going to have randoms filling up the grid. So it's going to be a really action-packed sprint mode this season, and I hope you guys watch and enjoy it. It will be streamed actually from several different perspectives. So Stuart Leslie might be one of them.
Oh yeah.
I'll be one of them.
Yep. And we'll have probably maybe about 3 or 4 different perspectives. So it's going to be a really big sprint mode this year, because it is the official final TNE race of the year 2020. Because pretty much beyond that, I don't think there'll be any other racing. So the next set of racing would be the European finishing up their season. I think you will have your last race in 2021 as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, without further ado, Merry Christmas from the team here at Transnation Esports, because obviously Sprint Mode will come after Christmas. And if you don't watch the Sprint Mode, have a happy new year, have a safe new year, and we will see you this time in February for Season 7 of Transnation Esports. So thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.